Hey, how you doing? How's it going, everybody?
Hi.
Live on YouTube right now. Right now. And we're back on YouTube live again.
So what you got in store for us today, Mike?
We got the lovely fiance going to read some Reddit stories, and I think that's going to be pretty interesting. She read some earlier, and I was like, ooh, kind of different.
Yeah. I'm looking for them now, so talk amongst yourselves while I find them again.
Wow.
What kind of stories are we looking for? Are we looking for relationship stories?
It's relationship ones. It's
Okay.
am I an ass or
The Am I the Asshole? And there was some about I was trying to find the one that hang on.
Are you good? You can continue looking. I was just wondering what it was about.
yeah. I mean, I can edit this section out. And my good finger here.
Not while
This
you're
some-
alive, you can't.
No, this some bitch hurt though. It's starting to hurt.
I want you to explain to everybody why you wearing a big old penis on your finger.
Not a penis. Not a penis. Don't be hating. No, so her son got married, and I was at the end of okay. They were supposed to get a hearse, right? For their getaway car was a hearse. Well, that fucking fell through for whatever reason. I don't know why, but it fell through. So on the way out,
What's wrong? Something went.
it's my iPad over here echoing. It shouldn't be echoing because I'm muted.
Something was weird there.
But yeah, Henry muted himself. But anyway, I'll then fuck this one all up because there's nobody really watching. But that's okay. We'll probably start everything over.
Okay.
No, but there's nobody watching. You already know the story. Bobby, do you know the story? Okay, you probably don't know the story. So anyway, we was letting. They were leaving yesterday, walking out, and there's a bottle of champagne. I'm like, ooh, I'm just going to pop the bottle and spray it on them when they walked out. But I made sure he was okay with it. I'm like, are you guys okay with getting a little bit of wet? It's only a small bottle of champagne. I'm like,
I mean,
"You guys
to be
okay
fair,
with
it was also kind of sprinkling anyway, so.
Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't want champagne, though. It's different from rainwater and a champagne. So, when I actually popped it, there was a mailbox out of the building we were at. And with the rain and the sweat from the bottle, when I went to pop the cap, the bottle slid in my hand and the cap literally sliced my finger wide open.
Ouch.
So, we're at the point where you could take that piece of skin and kind of flap it over. It should have got stitches, but I'm like, a little gauze and some tape never hurt anything.
Yep, very true.
Your doggy. Why is this thing echoing so bad?
Okay, I actually found one. That's somebody looking for advice. So they're telling their story, and then you guys could tell what you think. Okay, I have one for you.
Go ahead.
Okay. So the title of this Reddit story is How to Deal with Feminists at the Workplace Who Are Always Talking Bad About Men. And this is someone who's asking a question.
Perfect.
Okay, so here we go. Here's the story. He says, at my work, there are 3 feminists that are always talking openly about how shitty men are, how dumb and useless men are. They don't waste any opportunity to talk about that. We are talking about work stuff and they turn it into gender stuff and how women are superior and blah, blah, blah. They can't be fired or something because they are feminists. And
That's kind of true.
I suppose the boss is afraid of what could happen, but I'm really tired of the toxic behavior. It's like passive aggressive behavior where they don't waste time saying something bad against men. I just stay quiet because it's not good for my career to argue with them. I could lose a lot, but their hate toward men really makes me angry. What do I do?
I mean, if they can't get fired, you can't do anything about it. So, as a man, you just suck it up.
I agree.
You agree with? I mean, but that's just the society we live in where that's okay.
Pretty much.
That is being man. Welcome to manhood.
But if he was talking openly the opposite way, it would not be tolerated.
Oh,
Correct.
fuck no. The dude would be fucking fired quick.
So it's favoritism. This is kind of the shit we talk about.
I know.
It's not really favoritism. It's the hypocrisy of it.
That
Yeah.
is very hypocritical.
That is very hypocritical because a woman can, if a woman says something derogatory to the guy. Now, I'm sure there's some companies out there that if you say something to HR, the HR is going to do something. But you kind of got to suck your pride and do it because you can get get her for sexual harassment if she says something wrong. Even now, like I don't know when you were in the Army, Henry. When I was in, if you ask someone if you're gay, what your sexuality is, you can get popped for sexual harassment.
Yep, you still can. Yep, you still can.
And I did it.
Once they got rid of the whole "don't ask, don't tell" policy.
Yep, it's about done.
It's came about where if you ask about their sexuality, it's considered harassment now. I mean, because honestly, in a professional setting like that, you shouldn't be talking about any of that. So,
Well, I agree with that. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
you're fine. You good?
I was just going to move on to the next one. I found the one that I read to you earlier that you
Oh.
really liked.
Okay.
So, this is an "Am I the asshole" story. So we got to figure out, is this guy the asshole? The title is "Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend's sister that she's the reason she's single?"
I'm going to immediately say yes.
Oh, it's a good one too.
Okay.
Let's go.
This is the story. I, 23-year-old male, have been with my girlfriend, 22 female, for just over a year, and she's great, but her sister, 27 female, is terrible. You know, those pink-haired feminists you see on the internet that scream that everything is sexist or racist and generally give feminism a bad name. That's her. Her social media gives the impression that she is angry at society and especially men, and meeting her in person doesn't do much to fix that. I don't get along with my girlfriend's sister, so our interactions are few and far between. But my girlfriend regularly talks to her, and from what I've heard, sister has been lamenting the fact that she can't find a boyfriend. Her last serious relationship ended 5 years ago, and she seems genuinely confused about the reason for her relationship status. So the story starts with me fucking around on Reddit in the bedroom when girlfriend calls me into the living room. She was on FaceTime with her sister, and again the topic of how she can't get a man came up, so my girlfriend had the bright idea to ask a guy why a guy wouldn't date her. I was going to give generic advice like try going for a different man or get a makeover or something, but when I asked her about her dating experience, she gave the usual excuses for her singleness, such as men are intimidated by her, men are too childish these days, every man is afraid of commitment or a strong woman. I'm all for people living and believing whatever they want, but I get especially annoyed when people refuse to see how those things affect their lives and blame their misery on everything else. I told my girlfriend's sister why guys don't want to date her. I told her she is always angry about something. She can never seem to just enjoy something without pointing out something wrong with it. Just about every conversation I've had with her has somehow turned to politics, even when I've tried to steer it away from that. And most worrying of all is that she just seems to think less of men simply because they're men and blames them for just about everything. And no self-respecting man would give a woman like that even a second of consideration.
Fuck
My
yeah.
My girlfriend continued talking to her for some time before coming into the bedroom to call me an asshole. She said I was mean, that her sister was crying after what I said, and I should have been gentler with what I said. I might have been a bit harsh, but I think if she really wants to get into a serious relationship, then she needs to see what she's doing to sabotage that. So am I the asshole for being honest about why no guy wants to date her?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I changed my answer. No, he absolutely did the right thing
He-
because people need to be told the fucking truth these days.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's hard reality. This is what's wrong with today's society. You have to walk on eggshells to protect people's fucking feelings. Fuck your feelings. I'm a firm believer in that.
I agree.
Well, and if she's really serious about she really wants a relationship, then she needs to know why she can't have one.
Mhm. And if you keep portraying that you don't like men, or you're against men, and if you're a big old feminist, I mean, right there, immediately red flag for a man. If you are a feminist, it's a red flag for a man because that's annoying. You're going to be annoying. We already know it. Then two, we already know that you have grown up to know that men are bad. So it's a red flag. To me, no. He did the right thing.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Definitely for sure.
And it needs to happen more often.
Then you're an asshole. You're misogynistic. You're being a misogynist.
My favorite comment reply to that one was simple. It just says, "And everyone on the bus clapped."
Yeah, it's true.
Good one. Good one. Good one.
No, honestly, I think people, if they start being truthful and honest with people, dating wouldn't be so bad. I'm married, so I can't really say dating is bad. I'm just going off of what my daughter tells me. But if people were fucking honest and truthful with people, dating probably wouldn't be as bad or as hard as everyone says it is today.
I think dating, it's hard in today's society because of how people has evolved and changed over the decades, like from the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, but have we really evolved and changed, or has our language only evolved?
I think both. I would have to say both. And I say the reason, its society has evolved. It changed, not evolved for the better, I would say.
I don't know about that. In my opinion, I think men and women have basically stayed the same.
No.
Now their voices have become louder, right?
I would say it's definitely changed because look at feminism back then. Look what a woman did for her man back then compared to women now.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by change. How we've evolved to a different, but it's not a good evolve in that manner.
I mean, this is going to sound bad, but I think since feminism has came upcoming as it has since the 60s, 40s, 50s, and 60s and 70s, it has given more options for women to make choices, but it really hasn't changed men. Men have been the same pretty much throughout history.
We got a lot more pussy fight over the years.
Well, that's different. That is completely that's a completely different subject, though.
We have evolved in a negative manner, is what I'm saying. It's not a good evolve.
I think that's a result of how women have treated men.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yep.
Because women have been given more options, they have been treating men differently, which has now turned our men into more feminine men than what we used to have. That's the way I see it. And I think it also comes down to parenting, right? Because most your households today, what is it, 80%, 90% or 70 or 80%? I'd have to look it up. But there's a lot of single family households. The majority of those single family households are women. And I don't know. Discipline is no longer there. And that's not just because women do. That's just because of how our government has taken over parenting.
Yeah, which I don't agree with. But we're not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. You got another one for us, Mel?
I'm trying to find another one that I read earlier. I apologize. I'm a little unprepared because I came from the birthday party straight here.
Oh, you're
into
fine.
the chair.
She closed out her tab. So when you go to your internet on your cell phone, since you have an Android, when you go to the internet, do you have multiple pages opened up?
I can, yes.
It usually uses a lot more memory, though.
Well, I mean, iPhones do it, but yeah, I mean, if you don't have to bookmark, you just leave it open, and then you go to a new page and go back to your old page. Like, hell yeah, there it is, right there.
So there is a difference on how pages are displayed between Safari and Chrome, right? Mm-hmm. Chrome, each individual tab uses one CPU and certain amount of RAM. In Safari, each tab uses less than 2% of memory. It only uses one process, which only uses one CPU.
Yeah, it's Adam.
It's completely different.
That's Adam. I have
That's
no
just
fucking
trying to
clue.
explain it to you.
Yeah, I have no fucking clue what you just said. I'm like, what? What
Okay.
did you say? What?
Okay, so I found one that this one actually, I didn't read this one earlier, but
Oh, here we go.
this is intriguing to me just by the title alone. So it's another "Am I the Asshole" story. The title is "Am I the Asshole for blanking my girlfriend over a sex strike?"
Blanking,
Blanking.
I think that means like
not giving her any.
Let's read the
I
story
think
here.
that, like ghosting her.
Okay.
I think it means like
Oh, okay.
Over
Let's hear the story. Maybe we can determine what blinking is.
I mean, I'm not up on all the young lingo. I guess we could go after teenager in the other room.
Yeah.
Okay. So me and my girlfriend have been together for 4 to 5 years now. It's been a pretty smooth ride, not a lot of bullshit from her or me, even though we are different people. She's very involved, she keeps up with a lot of topics, and she's pretty political. Basically, she's pretty feminist, and I don't care either way. I like to think I'm just laid back, just enjoying games and friends and shit. Anyway, apparently there's some political controversy down south, and some celebrity or whoever suggested a sex strike. My girlfriend stayed over last night, and we got to talking about this somehow. She went on about it and said a sex strike was a reasonable idea. I respectfully disagreed. A minor argument ensued, and it ended with her wanting to do the sex strike to show solidarity. Now I'm not just about sex and shit, but a sex strike because of some celebrity seems to be insane. After she left, I got to thinking that she is basically supporting punishing all men who aren't involved in this particular issue, and that our relationship is going to suffer because of it. So I'm currently not responding to her calls and her messages. She's getting upset from what I've gathered, but honestly, she's just fucking me over because of some celebrity bullshit, and that might be a deal breaker for me. Gonna break up if she follows through. Currently blanking her because I'm annoyed. Am I the asshole?
No, and I agree with him. It's fucking retarded to go on a sex strike because a celebrity couldn't do something. That's just stupid.
Yeah, as a show of solidarity. So I guess I wish it would say what the original
Celebrity was
and why
Yeah.
the sex strike, because apparently it had something to do with we're going to punish all men because of the actions of one kind of thing. So nobody have sex with your boyfriends or husbands because we're punishing all men.
Yeah. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, I agree.
Is that a reason to break up?
Is that worth a breakup?
Is that a reason to break up?
Ooh,
If you're going to
Ooh.
withhold if you're going to hold the sex from me?
I don't know. So, I mean, it does deserve a discussion. I won't say it deserves a breakup. I will say it just deserves a discussion because I think it's a very, very. Ooh, that's depends on the belief, right?
Well, I agree with the discussion, and I would say if it continues after that discussion, then okay, if you're not married is one thing. If you're only boyfriend and girlfriend, if you have a lot invested, in like as far as material wise, let's say a house, or you guys have a shared vehicle and a loan is what I mean. Both names are on the title, right? You're kind of walking on thin ice on this one on both people because both of you guys can fuck each other's lives up in a heartbeat if you decide to break up, or if he decides to say, you know what, I'm done, I'm out. You're kind of, she can say, well, you know what, the house belongs to me or the house is mine. I'm going to get the house regardless. Then you got to go to civil court because the house is in both names. If you're renting or buying or whatever, you're kind of fucked at that
You're
point.
saying if you're married, right?
If you're not married, but it's like if you have a house together. You say there's people in today's society are not getting married anymore. They're buying houses together. It's not a lot, but there are some couples out there, and I'm just using that couple as an example. If you in fact buy a house together and not married, you're now at a whole different set. Especially if she's trying to hold the sex from you and you want to leave. Kind of treading on water.
Okay,
there.
so let me read you the top reply on this thread. And this comes from a man, and he said, "Yes, you're the asshole, and I'll break it down why." It's the problem us men have. We are in a position of power, and as such, women's issues don't affect us, so many of us don't really think about it. In and of itself, that's not a crime, but your girlfriend is trying to raise your awareness of what she and other women deal with. Particularly as today is Mother's Day, you might want to set the Xbox controller down for a second and think about how life is different for your mom and other women in your life. What challenge do they face that you don't? Walk a while metaphorically in their shoes. Of course, the sex strike is silly, but so is ending a 4 to 5 year relationship over it. Just support your girlfriend and you'll be back to normal soon.
Support her for not giving you the vajayjay. No, absolutely not. I
don't think that was a man.
I don't.
Well, I can think of a few men that we've run across in certain TikTok lives that would respond like that. That would say, that,
Okay, well, I don't call them men. I call those boys.
Same.
Well,
I guess I should say male.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now, I can see it being a simp or, somebody that is portraying to be women friendly or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But yeah, no. Now I do agree with that. You shouldn't sacrifice a 3 or 4 year relationship over going on strike for sex for a few days. Now, a few days is fine, but a fucking week or more, that's a little excessive.
Now let's flip the role. If the guy withheld it from her, how fast do you think she would leave?
Well, it depends, right? If those roles were reversed and he was wanting to go on a sex strike because of that whole celebrity thing, whatever the fuck that was, she would probably think he's an idiot and just leave him immediately. But
I mean, let's flip it to okay. So we know that sex is a vital part of the relationship for both parties, but men are more physical creatures, and so obviously for men, it's extra important, right? So she's going to withhold that. So let's say he withholds, I don't know, paying the electric bill.
Well, then he's fucking himself, because then if something...
Well, I mean, or, okay,
screwing himself.
But he withholds, like, fixing the toilet that's broken.
And then I guess he can't take a shit either.
I mean, it's kind of true.
He withholds from putting gas in her car.
Well, I guess she's going to learn how to pump gas.
So I guess he's going to learn how to,
Now, I see where Mike is. I think I see where Mike is coming from, because when men typically provide things that is going to be all around helpful for everyone, right? Not just the woman.
True.
And a woman controls sex, and it only hurts men when they hold it, right? So I can see where Mike is coming from, where he says, well, I guess, he's fucking himself when he doesn't pay the electricity bill and blah, blah, blah. But the only thing that would hurt the woman from the man withholding would be the relationship.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. True. So surprisingly on this story, overwhelmingly, the comments in the thread voted that he is the asshole.
I wonder, because I'm sure all the voters were women.
Here's another comment. For someone who claims to be a pretty laid-back guy, you certainly are blowing things out of proportion. This is her temporarily showing support for a political movement that has the potential to eventually affect women nationwide. It's not a punishment, and for you to think of it as such is not only selfish, but incredibly immature.
That absolutely came from a woman.
Oh, yeah, that was for sure.
I'm telling you,
100% came from a woman.
I would put money on it. Majority of those people said that he's an asshole are women saying that.
Okay, here's one that says not the asshole, and this one makes sense. Withholding sex from your partner in solidarity with some movement that has nothing to do with your partner is asshole behavior. Basically, just a punishment for actions taken by people outside the relationship, and that's unhealthy.
I agree with that. It's just, how can I put this? I don't like being held responsible or being held responsible basically for other people's actions that I had nothing to do with.
Mm-hmm. And this person goes on and says, too many people are in here trying to rationalize her actions to signal their virtue when she's blatantly engaged in emotional and physical manipulation against her partner. Only reason they are is because you are a man and she is a woman. This place would never accept this type of manipulation against a woman by a man.
That's absolutely facts.
And it is.
Yep.
That's exact. It absolutely is. I didn't really think about that, but it is a manipulation against your relationship for something that doesn't even have to do with your relationship, and that isn't healthy at all.
Reading some of the comments in this live.
Why should I accept accountability for someone living hundreds, if not thousands of miles away? I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I 100% agree with that one, Freddie.
Well, we don't live. We live hundreds of miles away, but I'm still going to take accountability.
Yeah, but when
if
it doesn't,
was you,
yeah,
but,
if it was
I
you,
mean, but if not, if it's something like this had nothing to do with their relationship. This was in solidarity with something else that had nothing to do with him.
Gotcha. Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that's a I'm going to say a get fucked cunt.
I mean, to me, it depends on how long they've been in a relationship. If it's been 3 or 4 years and they've set those standards, like if, they're having sex once or twice a week, and then all of a sudden she wants to change her mind and put a strike on sex for a couple months because of this whole fucking movement thing. Yeah, that's a no-go.
Tell you, man, called the power of the P. They control that shit.
Yeah, well, we also, again, the only thing that we can do towards a female to hurt them in a fashion that them withholding sex from us hurts us is basically get rid of the relationship then. Because in the long run, that would hurt them.
Yeah.
Okay, I got another one. You guys want it?
Sure.
Let's
Okay.
hear it.
It's another Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for asking my girlfriend to stop unfairly calling me sexist and telling me I need counseling? I, 27 male, have been dating my girlfriend, 26 female, for 4 years now. Our relationship has been great, and she never had any issues with me until around the past 2 years. In the past 2 years, she has been becoming a lot more active into politics and learning about feminism, watching TED Talks on it and stuff. I have no issue with her doing this and think it's great that she wants to be more informed. However, this has started to make her see sexism even in cases where it is not there. Lately, even when it concerns me. I strongly believe that equal rights is important and that we have made great progress in modern times regarding this. However, she has started calling me sexist whenever I make any negative remark about a woman. For example, I was on a call with her while driving. The girl in front of me wasn't turning right on red when it was clear, and I mentioned to her that I was stuck behind a dumb girl. My girlfriend took issue with this and went on this lecture about how I can't possibly know her IQ and that these things happen in traffic to the best of us. Similar things happen whenever I call out driving mistakes by women or girls. I said something similar when we saw someone rear-end a car, and I said, must be a dumb high school girl. I am a software developer, and we hired an intern once who was a college girl, and she seemed clueless and seemed to think acting dumb was cute. And I used to talk about her to my girlfriend, and one day, despite agreeing with me, she started playing devil's advocate for the girl. My girlfriend told me I am sexist and said I need counseling for it. I think this is insane, and calling someone dumb for doing something legitimately dumb is not sexist. I told her to stop painting me as a sexist when I am not, and that is wasted energy when there is so much actual sexism by others she could focus on. In all these instances, I feel I would say the same thing if it were done by a man. Am I in the wrong?
Boy, that's a lot to take in.
Nope, not at all. I see that scenario just like when a man gets red pilled.
Yeah.
When I see it being so. Yes, the girl is learning new tricks and terminology for behaviors that she sees in her man, but she has taken those new tricks and terminology and turned it and using it against him. I don't think he is in the wrong at all for telling her that her calling him sexist is bad, especially for calling him sexist for things that stupid people are doing. because there's a completely difference between calling somebody stupid and then actually being sexist against them, right? So, yeah, I don't think he's wrong at all. What do you think, Mel? You're the woman in the room.
I don't think he's wrong at all. And I know exactly. I mean, and I think that type of behavior, especially someone new to, when you're new to anything, like even like, I'm going to equate it to church, you know, because I grew up in church, you know, and they like call them like baby Christians, you know, people who first get saved or whatever. So then they are really zealous about church and God and the whole thing. Same as that's kind of what I think about when I read this is like, she's just learning about it. So she's very zealous about it. And so everything, she's so focused in on it that she's seeing it even when it's not there. Like she's just, and do I think he needs counseling? No.
Yep.
No.
I agree.
Now, I mean, if he was telling her she needed to, you know, go make him a sandwich or be barefoot and pregnant all the time or not
now,
you know,
if
but
so if he would have said instead of saying, you know, stupid girl wouldn't turn right or something like that, instead of that, and he said, you know, women shouldn't be driving, that's being sexist.
right. Yeah, if he would have said this is why we shouldn't allow women to have driver's licenses.
Yeah, now that's being
That would
sexist.
be sexist.
I agree.
But just saying dumb girl, because if it would have been a guy, he would have been like dumb guy or dumb asshole or whatever. Like you said, just dumb behavior, dumb behavior. So
Stupid is as stupid does.
yeah, that too.
Caitlin, I love this. Well, thank you, Caitlin. We're just having some fun.
My mama told me.
Mama said, like a box of chocolates. You know, when I was a kid, man, I never really understood what he meant until I got older.
Do you know that there's a lot of sexual discussion in his words?
Yep. He was just a desperate homeboy. He got pussy. He let pussy control him. Pussy patrol.
Yeah.
You got another one?
I'm looking.
I think it looks like Henry's cat's kind of like.
Dude, my dogs won't leave me the fuck alone. Like at all.
Hey, we've got 2 this week. We are dog sitting.
Yeah.
I've got 4 dogs and 2 cats.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm babysitting my daughter's dog because my daughter went with my wife. Speaking of which, they should be getting home like within an hour. See how far away they are.
Anybody who's watching, there's an email address. thembshow@gmail.com. You guys want your story read and talked about, kind of like what we're doing right now? Please feel free to email some stories. Say whatever you want. I will not mention any names. I will protect you, your identity.
okay. Here's one that's kind of not really on the same line that what we've been discussing, but kind of. Okay. Am I the asshole for buying a new car while my girlfriend is struggling financially?
Ooh. Yes.
Ooh, you guys are like, ooh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
let's
would-
hear the story. Let's hear the
Okay.
story.
Yep.
My girlfriend, 24 female, and I, 31 male, have been together for almost a year. My girlfriend currently lives in an apartment that she rents with her friend. I live by myself in my house. I'm a software engineer, and my girlfriend works as an accountant at a local business. My girlfriend has been struggling to make rent and pay all of her bills the last couple of months due to the rising costs of living. I'm doing pretty good at my job and am in a pretty comfortable position financially. I have told my girlfriend multiple times that if she ever needs help money-wise, she can always ask me. But up until now, she has always refused any help of mine, so I respect that choice of hers, and I don't ask her about it anymore. A few months back, I purchased a new car and didn't tell anyone about it, also not my girlfriend. My new car finally came in a few days, and I went to pick it up. And I went to pick up my girlfriend in it to show it to her. I thought my girlfriend would be happy for me and congratulate me, but she seemed annoyed and almost angry. She told me that I am insensitive for buying my new expensive car, knowing that she is struggling financially and that I'm rubbing it in her face. I told her that was not my intention, and I genuinely just wanted to show her something I'm truly proud of about myself. She just responded that I am an asshole for throwing it in her face, knowing her situation. Am I an asshole?
I mean, yes and no. That one's a rough one. And here's the reason why. So I get that he's respecting her wishes, not asking her if she needs help anymore because she's said it multiple times. But at the same time, we all know women don't fucking say, women don't say what they mean. Their actions say what they mean. Mm-hmm. And if a woman tells you something and then her actions say otherwise, you should follow the actions and not what their words say. But at the same time, I kind of get where he's coming from because he has been doing well for himself, and it's an accomplishment that he can actually, yes, I'm doing pretty good for myself. I've gotten myself out of this rut so I can buy myself something new. Now, I think I'm sitting here questioning, why is she still living with a roommate? Why isn't she living with him if she's struggling that much?
Right.
And they've been together for a year.
They've been together for a year, so maybe they're not quite there yet.
Yeah, I would say it might be a little too soon for some people. A year,
But if you're struggling, you got to do what you got to do.
But here's the thing:
he may not be ready for her to move in.
Well, if they're not ready to live together, then I don't think that she is in any position to make judgments on what he spends his money on. Then
I agree, but this also could be a test from either side, right?
Yeah.
This could be a test that she's testing him to see if he be, actually stand up and take care of her, or he could be testing her to see if she would leave him for buying material stuff. I don't know. To me, I think it would be more beneficial if she just moved in with him since she's struggling to pay rent. Mm-hmm. That's just my thing.
Here's the thing. If she's bad with finances with the roommate, if she's struggling with finances, is she bad with finances for one?
right.
And is that why she's not moving with him? Is he's not ready for her until she can prove that she's financially stable or able to take care of her own responsibility.
That's a good one too.
So he could be like, you know what? I'm not going to invite this woman into my house until I know she's fully capable of being able to do things the correct way with her finances, be financially stable. A protection on him and his money, because if she's bad with money, obviously, and he's good with money, obviously, when she moves in, she can ruin. And hey, that's somewhat mine too. Now that can you buy this? Can you do that? How much of the bills is he responsible for if she's not financially stable?
Okay, so we were together about a year whenever you bought your new car, and I mean, financially, we're not in the same boat, obviously. Oh my gosh, Annette, fuck my life. I agree with Mike. Sorry.
Score.
Oh, but, so I'm a single mom. I don't make as much money as Mike does. But when he bought his new car, I was proud of him and happy for him and excited for him because I knew how much he loves, he was so excited about it.
But was you struggling?
Well, I mean, as a single mom, I'm always struggling, right? I mean, I have a teenage daughter who I hemorrhage money. So I always kind of struggle, but.
Go ahead. I was going to say you're struggling, but you're not financially insecure.
But I'm not financially insecure. I can pay my bills. I can make my rent every month. I can pay my utilities every month and buy food and put gas in my car and everything like that.
Yeah,
do I have extra? Do I have extra money to go?
Are money pits. We get it.
Oh my God! Do I have extra money to go buy a new car if I wanted to? No, that's not in my budget. But also I get about the asking for help thing too, because I have a really hard time with that with him. I really do. And he just does it sometimes because he pays attention to the things that I talk about and the things that, during our day-to-day discussions about life and what's going on in our lives and stuff, he pays attention to the things that I say. And so I will just randomly wake up to, PayPal deposit, things like that. Just something as a little extra help because he knows I'm not going to ask him unless I absolutely, have to. And there have been some times that it's just like, when my air conditioner went out during, what was it, July or August last year, and it was 115 degrees. And of course, I'm a renter, so I had to wait for my landlord to come in and fix the air conditioner. And I didn't have the extra, cash, the extra money at that time of the month to be able to go get a hotel room.
Yeah.
But he insisted and he did it. He made sure that me and my daughter and my dogs were, because that's just who he is. But I didn't ask him for it because maybe it's a pride thing. I don't know. Some people don't have a problem asking, but I'm not one of those people.
I think it's a pride thing. I think if you have built yourself up, or built your family up, right, without help, it's a pride thing. I mean, I'm the same way. My wife, when I was in the military, my wife used to ask her mom for, a couple $100 here, a couple $100 there, because I mean, in the military, shit, you don't get paid a damn thing. So we were struggling a lot. Mm-hmm. And I didn't like it. We would fight. We would get in arguments because she's asking her mom for money. And I'd be like, no, I do not want that at all. Right. Because the way I see it, if you're asking for money, I'm going to pay it back. I don't care if you say, don't pay me back. I am paying it back. I don't want to owe anyone anything. Mm-hmm. So I feel you, Mel.
Yeah.
What is some of the comments are saying? What's the first commenter saying on that one? If you don't mind sharing.
Let's see.
You've got. I have a hard time asking.
On the Reddit or on the YouTube?
On the Reddit.
Oh,
okay.
Of that one, because I think yes and no, right?
Okay, not the asshole. She is your girlfriend and you are not responsible for her financial situation. Perhaps she needs to start looking for another job that pays more and enjoy your new car.
Ooh. That's an asshole remark.
Overwhelmingly, the vote is not the asshole.
I would say, I would say not the asshole. Now I did say it in the very beginning without hearing the story, but right off the bat I did say yes. But then listening to the story, but like I said, in that comment did have a very valid point to me. If you are struggling, and if you're struggling that bad and you're not really secure with everything, there's one or two things you can do. One, find a better job. Two, do better with your money. There's the only two options in my opinion.
Well, I mean, I'm a very traditional man. I'm going to take care of my girlfriend or my wife, no matter what. So.
Okay, here's a good one. So this person says, so let me get this straight. A, you live in separate accommodations. B, you have only been an item for a year. C, you have a job, she has a job. D, you have separate bank accounts. E, you bought a car with your money in your name without consulting her. Gasp, clutches pearls. How could you? How could you act like a guy that has his own money, who lives on his own, in a relationship that's only a year old and chooses to purchase a new car because he wants a new car? Of course you're not the asshole. If she has this kind of reaction and expectations this early in the relationship, that's a red flag.
Imagine what it would be like in a long-term living together, and that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, that sounds like a Gen Xer.
Yeah. Gasp, clutches pearls.
Oh man, that's a good one. That was a good story.
It was.
Yeah, that was a different
$100 says she's using all of his streaming services and still can't save money. That's probably facts right there.
That shit ain't cheap, man.
No, it's not.
You got Netflix, Paramount. You got Hulu.
I currently pay for Netflix, Hulu, Paramount. Now my Hulu is on a Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN bundle. And so my Netflix and my Paramount and my Peacock and Amazon Prime.
Yep.
And
So
I still can't find shit to watch.
So I'm paying for Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus. let's see here, Amazon Prime, but inside Amazon Prime, I got Paramount Plus, Sharp, AMC Plus, and something else. I can't remember the last one. And me and my wife are paying. Well, I'm paying for it all, and then my daughter uses most of it. So.
Yeah. So this comment was a good one. It says, perhaps you caught her in a moment of financial stress, and upon seeing your success, she had a moment of jealousy and resentment. That is absolutely no excuse, but she does owe you a serious apology. You should be supporting each other, sharing moments of joy, and wishing each other success. You tried to help her. She refused and responded by tearing you down and ridiculing your accomplishment. You don't deserve this treatment, and you shouldn't put up with it. You are not the asshole.
I agree with that one, and it sounds like that person is a professor.
I'll give you a professor ID on that.
You can just tell by the way it's worded. They
Yeah.
sound like a fucking teacher.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
I mean, to me, it's like the deep down traditional man inside me is like, yeah, you're an asshole for not taking care of your girlfriend. But then it's like the modern day outlook of what I've seen today is like, oh no, you're not the asshole.
Oh, it's straight up crickets on this one here.
yeah. Oh, I'm reading. Sorry, I'm trying to find another one for you.
Oh,
My bad.
here we go.
And the teenager in the other room is texting me about dinner. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have been on here for almost 50 minutes. So
And it didn't even seem that long.
no, it really didn't.
It's a good topic, some good ideas.
Yeah.
so I got a question for you, Mel.
Okay.
This is a little
Henry.
off topic, not just,
Okay.
while you're scrolling through and looking for another one.
Okay.
So let's think about the question that we see on TikTok all the time, right? Men should pay for the first date stuff, right? So if a man if the man is responsible for paying for the first date, is the woman responsible for giving him sex?
No.
Why?
Oh, we talked about this the other day.
I mean,
We did.
Me and him did.
Is she a hooker?
No. So let's think about this. Break it down to wants and needs of each person, right? What is the one thing that the man is wanting in a relationship or in a date?
I mean, are you saying that all men only want sex?
I'm saying all men where they're going on a first date. I'll plainly say it, and I'll be honest and brutal about it. All men on a first date are wanting to have sex.
Well, yeah, want it. I would.
Want. I didn't say need. I said
Right.
want.
Okay, so here's the way I look at it.
If she's attractive.
If a man asks me out on a date, right? You asked me out to dinner or drinks or whatever on a date. So that's what you asked for. You didn't ask for, can we go have dinner and I'm going to pay for it and then you're going to sleep with me in return.
I heard exactly what you said, and she said a key word. He asked you out for a date, right? Because a woman don't ask men out for dates. There's some. There
are some.
Yeah.
But I mean,
majority don't.
So I don't see. Now I think traditionally, this is the way I think. If a man asks a woman out, you're asking for her company. You're asking her to accompany you to dinner or to drinks or to a movie or wherever it may be. So then, here's McDonald's blow me is what somebody said in the comment section.
Swallow the chicken nuggets.
So I would think that that's what you're asking me for, and so therefore the person who asks, you're taking on the responsibility. You are asking someone to accompany you, so therefore you are taking on the responsibility of paying for it, right? Paying for the dinner or the date or whatever. Now, I think it all depends on the situation, because if I am talking to a guy and in my single days, if I was talking to a guy,
You got to rephrase that real quick.
and he would say, hey, you want to meet up for drinks? Okay. I would go with every intention of paying for my own drinks. If we're just going to meet up for a drink or whatever. So I'll pay for my own drink. I think it's all about the situation. So if you're asking me to dinner or you're asking me for this, but if it's a mutual thing, like, hey, we should grab dinner, you know, if she says, hey, let's grab dinner, and he says, okay, well, at that point, I don't think he has the obligation to pay if, you know, it's just a casual, like, let's meet up. But yes, the inviter should be prepared to pay.
I agree with that statement, but okay, let's go about of a kind of a situational thing here, right? So let's say a man asks a woman out for a date. The man says, okay, look, you agree to go on a date with me. I'm going to pick you up at 7:00. We are going to go to this restaurant, be dressed this appropriately, right? The woman comes back and says, no, you're not taking me to that restaurant because I'm better than that. And you're going to take me to pick somewhere else or, you know, take me to this other specific restaurant.
Bitch, bye.
Yeah, that would be you'd be
I agree.
canceled right
I
off
agree.
the bat.
I agree. But let's just say the man agrees and says, okay, I'll take you there, but it's going to, you know, now it's going to cost him a little bit more. Now, should she give him sex?
No, because I don't think anybody is obligated to trade sex for dinner.
So what's the difference between sex and dinner?
It's a big difference.
What's the difference?
One you're working off the meal. The other
There's
one
a
you're
huge-
filling your belly, and then the other one you're working it off.
No,
There's
I'm just throwing it out
There's
there.
a
calories.
huge difference between
is.
sex and dinner. Henry.
Oh, I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm just telling you what I read.
Henry.
These are
We need
some
to
of
cue
the
that
things.
sound effect.
These are
Henry.
some of these. There are some of these things I've read on or I've listened to on TikTok, and I'm like, what the fuck are you thinking? Right?
Yeah, no, nobody is obligated to have sex with anybody else. That is a mutually agreed upon experience that is not transactional.
I mean, it is kind of today, honestly.
Well, it shouldn't be transactional unless she's a hooker.
Well, I mean, tomato when it comes to getting what you want and what you need from things.
I mean,
right?
do you see?
No,
I mean,
I don't think she should be obligated or feel that she should be obligated to sleep with him after the first date. I really don't look at it like that. I think if the date hits it off and you guys can flirt back and forth and the vibes are there, the connection is there, and you kind of can read, both of you can read between the lines about sleeping together. Yeah, it's probably going to go down if you got a spot. Fuck it, take it the backseat of the car, in the parking lot. If you want to wham bam, thank you, ma'am, kind of thing.
Well, I mean, if I was dating again, which I hope I never will, if I honestly, if I ever become single again, I'm never fucking dating. Fuck that shit. That's just a horrible
dating
experience.
in your 40s in this day and age is a dumpster fire.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yuck. Never again.
But I think dating is the goal of dating, or the purpose of dating is to get to know people, get to know the other person, see if they're, if you guys match on a more connection level and not just physical. Physical is always going to be there. I mean, honestly, if we're going to be blunt about it, physical is the very first thing that people get attraction to. That's what makes you want to go on a date with somebody, is the physical attraction. So people that say, I'm not into physical, bullshit. That's just plain bullshit. But I think, so in my opinion, 3 or 4 dates in, that's when you should start looking into intimacy. Because you don't know, you could be going for, on dates for like a year and not have sex, and then actually have sex, and it's just fucking horrible. That would suck. I'm sorry. That's a lot of time invested. And yeah, that would suck.
Okay. Along these lines, I have found a story that is really along the lines of what we just talked about.
Awesome. Let's hear it.
Okay. Am I the asshole for not wanting to pay for every meal my very independent girlfriend and I go out for? My girlfriend and I have been together for almost 2 years. She's 25 and he's 31, for reference. We have a great relationship with trust and intimacy that I've never experienced before. She has a great job with stellar pay in the private sector, while I make slightly less than her at a nonprofit. We do a very good job at keeping our personal interests and personalities our own because even though we are together and in love, we fell in love with each other, not ourselves. Anyway, whenever we go out to eat, drink, or activities, she never goes for the bill when it comes. I even pay for groceries 90% of the time. It came up early in the relationship, and she says she expects me to pay every time. When I ask her why, she claims I'm very old-fashioned and think the guy should take care of the girl every time. She also went on to say, I use the extra money to buy clothes and makeup to look good for you.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
She is beautiful on her own, and she doesn't need expensive clothes or makeup to look great. I put my foot in my mouth telling her she looks good for other girls, not me. So am I the asshole for not wanting to pay for all of our meals when she gets to spend everything else on things only for her?
Hell no.
Oh, no, absolutely
Matter
not.
of fact, dude needs to leave that bitch.
Okay,
That's a red flag.
This is edited for additional info. Everything is split evenly. Rent, utilities, cell phones, dog food, medicine, everything. They split evenly 50-50. When we started dating, I took the bill every time because I asked her out, and it would be rude if I asked and made her pay. I'd say 5 months in is when I asked, and she almost choked on her water. She was so surprised I mentioned it. Crazy thing is, this is the only thing we have a problem with. She is the epitome of support and love and affection. It's just this one thing. I can't express enough that this is the only issue we completely disagree on.
Nope. If she was a traditional woman and, thinks the man should pay for everything, she wouldn't be an independent woman.
Right? Mm-hmm. Well, and I think definitely if she makes more money than him, apparently she makes, sounds like quite a bit more money than he makes.
Yeah.
I think that is very selfish and unfair for her to expect him to continue to pay every single time.
Especially when it's all their other bills are 50-50.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me at all.
And they've been together for 2 years now. So, like,
It should never got to 2 years, honestly.
Is she using
2
him?
months, maybe.
Also living and then just free meals in the meantime?
yeah, because she's got all this extra cash she can blow on just herself. It's very selfish, knowing that she makes more than him.
It's a narcissistic behavior.
If she was upfront about expecting him to pay for food and groceries, then he accepted the terms. I don't think it was upfront. It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like after a couple of weeks or months of dating, him asking her out on a date, which, I mean, that's what it sounds like.
Well, it continued on. It never stopped. He's the dumbass for sticking with her for as long as he has.
Yeah.
So overwhelmingly, the comment section voted he is not the asshole.
I agree with that.
This one says, not the asshole. It's not fair of her to expect you to foot the bill every time. And honestly, cherry picking which old-fashioned traditions to uphold seems kind of lame. She has a job. How old-fashioned is that? Unless she's shopping for a sugar daddy, she should be contributing to the entertainment expenses. And that is true. Okay, so my best friend and her husband, when they do their budget every month, they've set aside a certain amount of money on their monthly budget for entertainment purposes, like eating out and going to concerts or movies or whatever it is that they want to do. They have an entertainment budget. And I would think eating out and activities would be in their entertainment budget, just like every other line item in a household budget. And so she should also be contributing 50% to that.
Yeah, and I would assume they're living together if all the bills are split.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if they're living together, that's no more dating. I mean, it's kind of dating, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? You're living together. You're basically married without a certificate.
So the original poster commented on to back to this person and says, she is super progressive about women's rights and equal pay. When I told her the same thing about cherry picking, she made a scene.
Oh, absolutely. Of course she's going to. Because it shows it stops her from taking accountability.
You know, it's funny you say that because I seen a video that was sent to me by Bobby. And it was about a couple, and he's writing down a bunch of words, and I showed it to you this morning, or when I was thinking it was today, and he's writing down a whole bunch of words, and she's reading them off, some crazy, bizarre, weird words, and then he simplified it. He put sorry in there, and she couldn't even say that
Yeah,
Then he-
she could say onomatopoeia
Yeah,
and
and all this other-
supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but she
all
couldn't
this other
say
shit.
sorry.
And then she couldn't say sorry. And then he wrote a few more. And then he said, okay, here's this. This might be a little bit hard to understand right here. This might be the hardest one you want to say, be able to pronounce. And he put accountability. And all of a sudden it was crickets. I was like, yes, score, baby.
I mean, honestly, that's kind of like, in my opinion, what I've been seeing a lot of young women. It's kind of like out of their vocabulary, like completely. Accountability and apologizing is completely out of their entire vocabulary.
Yeah.
But that's not just women. That's also men, right?
But-
It's across the board now.
Is it safe to say it's majority of women though? Or is it the men that are basically the femboys that I call the femboys that are not
I think
being more ladylike?
I think they have no problem in taking accountability for things they never did. Like as far as like historically, they're going to apologize for oppression and things that they never did, but they won't apologize for things that they actually did. If that makes any sense.
To women?
Men.
Oh yeah. Well, no, we
no. I mean those
I think we
femboy
do.
men. And,
I think
and that
we
kind
do.
of
I
thing,
think
yeah.
an actual a respectable man will actually, I believe, will take accountability for his actions, even if he's in the right or the wrong, just to not go into an argument with his significant other. Just to not have a fucking. I don't want to argue with you. I just want to move on this day. We're having a great day so far, and you hit a bump in the road in that one day, and he's going to say, "Yeah, it was my fault. I fucked up. I did this, etc."
yeah,
Blah blah blah.
I agree with that.
And he's like, you know what? I'm just going to stop it right here because I don't want to argue with you today. It's been a great day. We're going to nip it in the butt. I'm going to own it. Now, what I've seen in the past, including myself in relationships, that if he takes accountability and she's still going to nag him, I'm walking away. I just told you that I'm sorry. Even though I didn't do it, I'm owning it, whatever. Even though I know it's your fault and you're not going to admit that, I'm going to admit it for you that I did it. I'll admit it that I did it, whatever, just to make you happy. And you're still not happy with it, I'm walking away. Like, I'm not leaving the relationship, but I'm just literally going to walk away from you.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people get in that situation. A lot of my friends, they get in that situation and they take accountability for something that they didn't do, and then it just continues to get that more and more often, right? Because the woman, no offense to all women, but these women, they seen that they can manipulate them for it, and then just kept moving it.
So I got to read some of the comments on this one.
Okay.
Someone said she wants to save the princess and be one too.
Ooh.
And then this is by far the best one. Ugh. Tell your girlfriend that another feminist on the internet thinks she's not a very good feminist.
A feminist calling a feminist out. That one's bad.
Man, I want some popcorn and butter on that one.
Right?
Well, I think that about wraps this up.
Yeah,
That
it's
was
been good.
Yeah, that was a fun time.
That was
Again, until
fun.
next time, keep in mind, guys, email the MB show unfiltered at gmail.com. Email some stories. We'll have some fun with it. We'll discuss it just like we did here. Hope to see some emails. Until then, I think we're scheduled for next Sunday at around 6 o'clock, maybe give or take Eastern time.
Okay.
6:30.
Sounds good.
All right. We'll see you guys then.
Nice talking to you guys. Nice seeing you, Mel. Have a good
Hey,
night.
thanks for having me on the show, guys. I really enjoyed it.
Y'all have a good night.
See you, man.
Bye.
Bye.